Hey everyone, Lilo13 here, and as I said in my Patreon video, videos are not stopping. That said, let's look at Raw this week, and this was actually a fantastic episode based on everything I saw about last week's Raw, like from Steven Larson's podcast, from the Wrestle Talk guys talking about it. Everything I've seen, I'm glad I didn't watch last week because I felt like it would have been really disappointing. And this week was actually really good. They did a lot of things I really thoroughly enjoyed. Let's start at the beginning, as we all are one to do. Though, as I've made it clear before, I'm not a professional. At least I'm trying to be, but I'm not. So I'm gonna get the order wrong. First off, we started though with Alexa Bliss, who you may recall me yesterday saying that it was an okay match. Forget everything I said yesterday. The fact that this woman cut one of the best promos she's ever cut, and that's saying a lot for Alexa Bliss, made up for everything that happened last night, or happened at Payback. But yeah, like, Alexa, in a true act of both heelery and just comedic genius, invited every woman on the Raw women's roster to come and see her with the title around her waist or holding her title. And she thanked every single one of them in the only way she could, by insulting everybody as well. Like, my favorite highlights include her coming or going to Mickie James and saying, "Oh, you were one of my favorite people growing up. You were who inspired me." And unfortunately, the other two women that you wrestled with are now dead. But hey, you're still here. She actually brought up Mae Young and Miss Elizabeth as two of her other inspirations, and she's like, "Yeah, but you're still here, so good for you." And I'm just like, I like this already. I like this a lot already. Then she thanked Sasha Banks for staying the hell away from her match. She then goes to Nia Jax and is like, Nia, hi, you're good. I like you. We're cool, right? We're cool. We're gonna be tagging tonight. I can see why everyone's afraid of you. You are really intimidating to look at in person, but I like you. Talking up to her, it was fucking hysterical. She gets to Bayley. She starts running through Bayley, and then Bayley kind of snaps and attacks her, and then it turns into a 4-way brawl pitting Bayley, Sasha Banks. I'm gonna try to get everyone in here. Bayley, Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke, and I want to say Alicia Fox versus Mickie James. Or no, Mickie James. I think Mickie James was on Bayley's team. I think it was Alicia Fox, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, and Emma. Bliss gets the win. This was a good four-way tag match. More tag matches in the women's division, please. That's such a nice change of pace. First off, I personally like it. I'm sure that anyone who watches this video likes it as well. Comment below if you do or not. So yeah, Alexa Bliss got the win, and everything is okay. Like, she's gonna be a really good champion. The one critique I have about her being champion, I like Alexa Bliss. I really do. And I'm happy for her to become the first Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion. And now she's a 3-time champion in the span of a year when she's gotten called up. That's awesome. For now I believe the count is 3 people that have done that with or Sasha, Charlotte, and now Nia. That's really good. We have after that we had Seth Rollins address the crowd, and he did what Seth Rollins does best. He did a fantastic promo. Actually, wait, no. Before that, we had Enzo take on, I think, He took on Anderson, I believe. Anderson wiped the floor with him. We knew it was gonna happen. You don't that was a roll-up win for Enzo or Payback. He got his comeuppance. Then Seth Rollins came out, and Seth goes, "I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I've slain the king. Now I want the beast." Seth Rollins is one of those men that had the balls to call out Pork Laser. And just when I thought this segment couldn't have gotten any better, who walks in but Finn Balor? And Finn goes, "Seth, we've seen we've seen eye to eye on a lot of things recently, and you and I are genuinely good friends. Like I like to think so. But this whole talk about you facing Brock, not before I do, because I never lost my championship. You know how that feels. So I'm going to face Brock Lesnar." So we have seeds of a Seth Finn Balor feud, or a three-way fight for the Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar. Not bad. It gets better. It got better. Dean Ambrose came out and pointed out what the internet wrestling community has been saying for the last few months, or the last few weeks, ever since Brock won the title. He goes, hold up. Now, I know a thing or two about Brock Lesnar. Fought him a couple times. It didn't end up in my favor. But he fights when he wants, where he wants. And that's obviously not right here. So, really, my belt is the top belt on Raw right now. So you guys should be trying to get on my good graces or try to fight me. Then The Miz comes out and says, "No one in this arena deserves this more than me." So in an act of true brilliance, Dean gets on his phone, calls Kurt Angle. Well, it was probably fake, but he calls Kurt Angle and goes, "Okay, you three, #1 contenders match, IC title, tonight, main event." And I'm like, I like this. They're doing what they need to do. Now that the Universal is pretty much dead because it's on Brock Lesnar's waist, and we're not going to see it for a little while, let's be honest with ourselves. They need to make sure that the IC belt is still as relevant as it was on SmackDown. It was the big belt on SmackDown, let's be honest. And yeah, they did that. Water. Next up, we had a Sheamus and Cesaro promo, where Sheamus and Cesaro pretty much affirm that they have turned heel. With they are the heels that make sense. They're like, wait, so you guys were booing us, although we did nothing wrong, just because Matt and Jeff Hardy decided to come back after 10 years. Forgo everything else that was lying. So they're playing the heel that are totally justified, and then then the Hardys came out. They attacked. The Sheamus and Cesaro went on the defensive. So we've had a complete 180 of the. Or we've come full circle. We started with Sheamus being a heel, Cesaro being a face. Then they did a heel face tag team. Then they both became faces because the crowd demanded it. Then they both became heels because the crowd demanded it. Now I'm 100% okay with Sheamus and Cesaro as a tag team. Always have been. I was one of the few people that's like, yeah, I could see this. It could be a little while, but I could see it. So this is gonna be a good feud. Like they keep going because I do like the dynamic these two have. And it was funny. Michael Cole accidentally played the part of the internet wrestling community because they were like, we, like, Sheamus and Cesaro ended their promo with, "We are the bar," or don't look to them to raise the bar because we are the bar. And Michael's like, wait, how are they the bar if they don't have the tag team champions? Our championship belts. And I just had to laugh because I'm like, Michael, you're doing my job for me. Don't do that. We had a bit of a breather match after two fantastic promos. We had Apollo Crews versus Heath Slater. I do find it funny in that that he still goes with the one man. He still has the one man band motif, and he is a part of a tag team first off, and across three different platforms we have the members of the three man band again. We have Drew Galloway on NXT, Jinder on SmackDown, and he's on Raw. Like, they need to bring them back together at least once. Let's see that at least once. That'd be awesome. So yeah, that's what's going on. Side note, like, I'm wondering how they're gonna do it for tomorrow. Kevin Owens, I'm hoping he doesn't go back to Raw because I do like him on SmackDown. I do like his relationship with JBL. That's actually kind of fun. It's actually kind of fun, and I do think he's gonna cash in his rematch clause tomorrow, or just so they could drop the belt or off Jericho so he can go tour with Fozzy. I'm gonna miss Jericho on Raw, but you know what? We're gonna get him later. Jericho always comes back, and reason I bring that up is because the backstage segment after that was The Miz being talked to. Actually, no, wait. First, before the Miz was talked to by I think Chelsea, one of the backstage the backstage reporters. Kurt Angle comes out, and like I've said many times before, I'm just so in love with Kurt Angle's character right now. He is the best guy on the mic. If they let him, he'd probably be the best guy in the ring. Just like he was 10 years ago. He is just the best. And Kurt Angle finally met Bray Wyatt, which is something I never thought we'd actually see. And even Bray was like, I believe we have never been formally introduced, so allow me to introduce myself. My name is Bray Wyatt. And I need to know if you're going to stand in my way or if you're going to support me. And Kurt is generally confused, like, I don't know what you're going to do, but I will remind you that this is my show. And Bray just looks at him, smiles, and goes, "This may be your show, but this is also my world." And I'm like, ooh, what is he gonna do? This is gonna be fun. Then the backstage segment with The Miz talking, and all of a sudden you see Dean, and he's like, So, Miz, you're fighting for my Dean Ambrose's Intercontinental Championship. Are you scared that if you win this match, you're going to get your ass beat by Dean Ambrose again? Dean leaves, or Miz leaves, and Dean actually is like, "This is mean, Dean Ambrose. Back to you, or back to you, Jr." Or something like that. Like no, Harley Race, and or he's like, I think he's like, yeah, he starts naming a bunch of old stuff. Like he's the backstage or promo guy. We had a 205 live tag team match, 3-way tag team match at Pit. The man with the plan, the Brian Kendrick, Tony Nese, and who was the third one? I think it was Daivari. Oh no, it was Noram Dar versus. Which, by the way, side note, can we get more Arya Daivari or Mustafa Ali on 205 Live and Raw? Because I kind of miss them. They're just hanging out. They're not really doing anything. But yeah, we had those three versus Rich Swann. Still like that character. He's still a great guy. We had Akira Tozawa and Jack Gallagher. I do genuinely like all three of these, like all 6 of these guys in the ring. Like, this was a great match. This actually happened beforehand. Like I said, I get the order wrong all the time. I'm sorry. We had, I believe it was Tozawa that got the win. I know that it was the faces that won the match. But what's more interesting was afterwards they showed a promo with T.J. Perkins talking to Neville, and he's like, "I hope you didn't forget why I'm doing all of this." And he's like, "Oh yes, no, I remember. You want my title, and trust me, if we get rid of Austin Aries, you'll get your title." And TJ's looking like, interesting, okay, and. By the way, one of the things I love about TJ Perkins is he's so active on Twitter. People were calling him out for tapping out to Austin Aries' submission, and he's like, "No, it wasn't. I was swatting a fly. I was swatting at a bee, or I was swatting at a fly. It was bugging me out." You can actually say it. He actually says, "I was swatting a fly." It was awesome. So yeah, Austin Aries and TJ Perkins had a great match. TJ is starting to come around to having a legitimate character. Like, him being a heel actually kind of works. At least I think it does. But I still think that, honestly, 205 Live is dying. They should just do something better with it. And I don't know what that will be, but they really should. Then we had another backstage segment with Dean interviewing Seth, and you could tell that all these guys, or that both of these guys were trying not to laugh. That they're just such good friends in real life that they were like, "Okay, let's just get through this so we can say cut and just bust out laughing," because Seth's in the back in the locker room, and Dean comes up to him. He's like, "Oh, I wasn't prepared for an interview." And he's like, "Well, I kind of hoped you would be. I mean, there's cameras in the locker room. That'd be kind of weird if you weren't prepared for an interview." And he's like, "Oh yeah, fair point." So he asked Seth a couple questions, and Dean's talking in the third person. So he's like, "So you're gonna go out against Dean Ambrose's IC title?" And Seth goes, "Well, Seth Rollins has always had a pretty substantial feud with Dean Ambrose. Even when we were working together, Seth and Dean knew each other's strengths and weaknesses to the point where we could call each other's moves. So I'll be okay if I fight Dean Ambrose. So Dean goes, back to you, Race. Or no, Bull. He's like, all right, back to you, Gorilla. It was really funny. Like I actually kind of like Dean Ambrose as an announcer. Like they could kind of make him like a Mean Gene Okerlund. That'd be really funny. I know they're not going to, but you never know. Final or second second to last backstage segment we has Kurt Angle talking to Golden Truth, who wants a tag team opportunity. Every right to want one because, well, they kind of deserve one. At least I think so. I really I think they deserve so much more. They really do, especially Goldust. Like it's getting to the point where you can tell that he's on his way out the door. He wants one last shot to show that he can still do it. I'm trying to think if there was one more match before the main event. So I think actually if that was where the I think that the penultimate match was the yeah, it was the Austin Aries or T.J. Perkins match or fight. But we had one last or Dean promo before they cut the commercial for the main event, and that was Dean talking to Finn Balor. And he's going through his thing, and Dean's like, "Well, I just have one thing to say to you." Pulls a donut. Eat a carb, man. Good for you. Finn takes a bite of the donut, gives it back to Dean. Dean looks at it, takes a bite, and that would have been funny enough on its own. But then the Drifter walks in, and the Drifter's strumming on his guitar like he has been for the last few weeks, and Dean's just like, "I like that. Hey, know any Pearl Jam?" Just continues strumming his guitar, walks away. We get to the main event. And this main event was great. Because it was the Miz, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor in a three-way no disqualification match. Or a three-way a three-way title match. Number one contender for the IC title. It looked so much like it was going to go in the favor of... Actually, it looked like it was going to go in the favor of Seth for a long time, because Seth had a lot of good offense in. And everything broke down because... Who shows up but Samoa Joe? This rivalry is not done, nor should it be, because Joe because Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins have a long history against each other, and it's going to be a great series of matches, I can tell. Or Joe attacks Seth, and because they remember that eerie message that he did or a couple weeks ago to him, Bray Wyatt attacks Finn Balor. And The Miz uses that as his advantage to get the 1-2-3. Miz and Dean for the IC title. I don't know if that's next week or that's at a pay-per-view. We'll see. That was the only down part of this Raw. Which, like I said, there's a lot of good things, and I know I probably missed one or two of them. Like, I'm pretty sure with my terrible memory, I missed a match because full disclosure, like I went driving for a little while, or for Lyft, because it is also I'm currently in San Antonio. It's a playoff game. I was trying to get some extra cash. But yeah, That was Raw. Like I gave it a solid 4 out of 5. It wasn't perfect by any means. It was a very good show though. Like again, I'm just gonna keep saying it. We're not gonna beat the show after Mania. That was amazing. It might do better though because we don't have Roman Reigns in, and Braun Strowman's gonna be given some kayfabe time off too, because he has a separated shoulder apparently. I don't know if that's real or fake, but it might be real considering that he slammed a ambulance door off its hinge and ran into a wall covered in boxes. Roman Reigns has a couple, or according to Kurt Angle, Roman Reigns has a couple bruised ribs and a torn. I think he said a torn or a strained rotator cuff. Look up. Ouch. If that's real. Ouch. But yeah, that was Raw. I will be back later. I guess tomorrow, or I guess today, because it's technically Tuesday when I'm recording this. I'll be back later for my SmackDown analysis. Until then, this is Deluna 13. Peace.